The only statement is very interesting because a lot of companies that I work with struggle to describe who they are, what they do, why it's different, and what they stand for. And if you can't do that, you're really going nowhere fast. That's my contention. And it's hard work to roll up your sleeves and say, we're the only one that does this. But I
Yeah.
think it's a great insight because I've had those arguments in the conference rooms, the white collar prison, where people try to take the easy way out and say, we're number one at this, or we're the world's best at this. It sort of falls pretty flat with customers because according to who, and it's a very sort of weird way to go at it. But saying we're the only ones that do this, that's more achievable if you've come up with something that is remarkable.
What I need to do is unfold for you the process that I created. Because what I discovered, what I found is, and I work with particularly small business clients all the time, and you're right, it's a difficult task to perform, and so they need to be guided. But the problem is that most differentiation work today is really another form of narcissism. It's what we think of ourselves. It's who we think we are. Okay, it's not about them. Now, who's them? The second question in my strategy building process is, who do you intend to serve? Now, that's all about target markets, but it's on a very, very small scale, right? And that's based on, what kind of growth potential from a revenue point of view you expect to get. But it's all based on the who, and I call it the who. And then what we do is we take a deep dive into the who. And the question we ask? We don't ask what they need, because everybody is in the need satisfaction game or trying to exceed them. We ask, what do they crave? What do they lust for? What do they desire? What keeps them awake at night? Why do I ask that question? It's because the craving space has virtually no competition and is price insensitive. And look at, guys, as marketing, don't we want to be in the premium price business? The problem is when you're trying to satisfy needs, you'll never get there because you got too much competition and everybody's focusing on price. So my process says, who do you want to serve? Let's nail that down. What do they crave? The next question, Eric, says, relative to that group of customers, how do we intend to compete and win? That's where the only statement comes in, because the answer to the question is, we're going to compete and win in the who with these cravings that we've articulated by being the only ones who. Okay. And sometimes, so it has that context. It's not just what Eric thinks of himself. It's not what Roy thinks of himself. It's what Roy has to be unique at in order to satisfy the cravings of the target market he's going after. Boom. Simple. Now, the typical answer I get when I say, all right, let's work on this, they say, but Roy, I'm not only at anything. I'm not unique at anything. And the challenge there is what I call reframing. Everybody has a Rembrandt in their business. The key is to identify it and wrap it up and display it. And that's what the only statement tries to do. Find your Rembrandt and take it to the marketplace and dissuade people. Okay, put the textbook down on universal, unique selling propositions, people. They don't work. They absolutely don't work. In our particular case, we built an only statement around unleashing the power of the internet, okay, by delivering integrated solutions. And we were the only ones that could do that, because don't forget, we had this voice uh, part of the business that's sitting there, and everybody was still using voice services. And we were the only ones who actually could take internet capabilities, wrap them around voice, etc., and present that to a customer in a unique way. And so that was sort of our basis, but nobody could touch it. All they could do is compete on price. Well, we killed them on price because we had the highest prices. Why? Because we had the highest value, and we're the only ones that did what we do. And so, to your audience, spend some time on this. It's really, really important. Differentiation today is the biggest marketing problem there is, in my humble opinion, because I don't see any. I don't see any. And it can be done through a very specific process.